Imagine being stuck in a dark and cold cave, not knowing where you are, a dark and chilly place, with the only company being the lifeless body of a friend. Well, this all happened about 10 years ago in the Cova dels Arquets region in Spain. Ricard and Denisio, two adventurous friends who loved exploring, went on a really tough journey. They had no idea about the dangers waiting for them. This is Fatal Tragedies with the story of Ricard and Denisio. First things first, the Cave of Cova del Arquet. Cova del Arquet is a limestone cave in the Morning area, measuring around 262 feet in length. It's a favorite spot for underwater photography enthusiasts and attracts many divers because of its accessibility and clear visibility. Locals often choose it as a common dive site. Upon reaching the location, the dive begins, and you'll continue for another 164 to 196 feet along the sea bottom until you find the entrance mouth. The entrance descends about 33 feet below the sea surface. The opening is approximately 8 feet wide, leading to a rising conduit filled with stones, reaching up to 13 feet. The cave extends to a depth of around 131 feet, typically suitable for experienced divers. Despite its reputation as a seemingly easy dive, Cova del Arquet holds a mysterious secret that has captivated expert divers. Towards the end of the cave, there's a smaller opening that leads to a murky cavity. What makes it truly intriguing is that, until now, no one has successfully navigated through this opening. Its obscurity, coupled with the unpredictable visibility depending on sea conditions, adds an element of challenge and mystique. For quite some time, this cave remained a hidden gem known only to a select group of divers exploring the captivating coast of Lys Estate. The unexplored passage at the cave's end adds an air of adventure and the unknown, making it a tantalizing mystery for those brave enough to dive into its depths. But the cave couldn't stay a secret for too long, especially when the sun lit up the blue waters, making their adventurous hearts sparkle. On a Saturday morning, July 19, 2014, four friends sailed from Les Ostres port. Their friendship and passion for exploring pushed them toward the captivating beauty of Captain Labari, an amazing cliff formed when the Medici Islands broke away from the mainland thousands of years ago. Little did they know what awaited them ahead of their exploration. The dive begins. Under the water, there was a tricky maze of caves made by the same forces that shaped the big cliff. Not scared of the possible dangers, three friends, Ricard, Denisio, with another friend whose name we don't know, got ready with their diving gear. They were excited to explore the secrets underwater. At the same time, the fourth friend stayed up above, keeping a close eye to make sure they stayed safe during this bold adventure. Without any ropes or clear signs to guide them, the brave trio swam in and out of numerous underwater caves. Each cave had its own special beauty, filled with beautifully patterned rocks and a variety of sea creatures. Among their discoveries, they stumbled upon the entrance of the Cova del Arquet, also known as the Cave of the Lobsters. The entrance went about 33 feet below the sea surface, tempting them to explore further. If it was a movie scene, this is the place you wish to tell the actor not to go that way. Lit by their flashlights, Ricard, Denisio, and their diving friend ventured 148 feet into the underwater stretch of the Arquets cave. This part of the cave was known for lobsters, earning it the second name. But as the rocky part ended, the grotto's texture changed. It shifted from rock to clay, leading to a narrow, unexplored area. Their friend began to feel scared. Through hand signals, he made it clear he wanted to go back up. Respecting his decision, Ricard and Denisio understood and agreed, but little did they know that continuing without him would be a fatal mistake. Lost in darkness. Ricard and Denisio kept swimming, covering an extra 115 feet along the sea bottom. But with each kick of their flippers, the water got cloudier. Despite the decreasing visibility, they were determined to keep exploring. When they hit 262 feet, they both agreed it was time to end their dive. However, an unexpected challenge awaited them. The silt in the water made them lose their sense of direction completely. Their movement stirred up the sediment, turning the water into a murky haze. Little did they know the path they took created a thick cloud of muddy water, forming a confusing black wall behind them. The way they came was now hidden, wrapped in a dark and unclear mess without any visual clues. Ricard and Denisio found themselves in a tough spot with no obvious way out. The situation got even worse as they realized their air supply was running critically low in their diving tanks. The search for an exit turned into a race against time. Just when things seemed bleak, they saw a tiny crack in the ceiling above. A faint glimmer of light peeked through, tempting them to explore. Fueled by desperation and determination, they swam toward the crack, their hearts racing. In a bold move, Ricard and Denisio took a risky gamble, deciding to squeeze through the unknown crack, unaware of where it might lead them. The miraculous escape. The tight passage pressed against their chests and backs as they moved forward. With every inch gained, the fear of a possible dead end closing in, sealing their fate by suffocation, weighed heavily on the two. The passage angled upwards towards the surface, about 262 feet from the cave entrance, and led them to an underground lake, a pocket of air as if it had been waiting for them for centuries. Taking off their equipment, Ricard and Denisio, with their heads out of the water and bodies partly submerged, felt like they had just cheated death. They took the chance to celebrate their miraculous escape, capturing the incredible turn of events in a couple of photos. One picture showed Ricard, his face filled with a mix of relief and excitement. The other featured Denisio, his expression a mix of gratitude and disbelief. And the unexpected twist that awaited the Gaius rescue divers who would find them alive, Ricard and Denisio found solace in a renewed sense of humor. As time passed, worry grew among Ricard and Denisio's friends on the surface. The Gaius of Liscarded team, responsible for securing open water swimmers and captive crews, was on duty that morning. Around 11 in the morning, a distress call reached the team from the concerned friends of Ricard and Denisio. Corporal Fernando Aguirre, the Gaius group leader, quickly organized the team for an urgent return trip to the dive site before nightfall. Though they had little hope, they realized that by now, the air in Ricard and Denisio's cylinders would likely have run out, leading to a tragic drowning. Unbeknownst to those on the surface, Ricard and Denisio were still trapped within the air pocket they had found. The bubble, about 322 square feet in size and 4.9 feet high, felt like a refuge in the midst of their ordeal. It held a substantial amount of air, estimated to be around 1,236 cubic feet. However, their prolonged stay within the confined space had serious consequences. Death. Why, you ask? Well, breathing, crucial as it was, gradually filled the limited airspace with carbon dioxide, silently and insidiously poisoning Ricard and Denisio within the refuge that they sought. Unbeknownst to them, the invisible gas jeopardized their survival. As time passed, the rising levels of CO2 in the air pocket took its toll. The once life-giving oxygen was replaced by this toxic byproduct, affecting their cognitive and physical functions. Ricard and Denisio, realizing the danger, felt the insidious effects impairing their abilities. As time wore on, their plight became more dire. Hydration, disorientation, and hypothermia weighed heavily on their weakened bodies. Ricard, particularly, bore the brunt of the carbon dioxide, experiencing its impact severely. Their once vibrant spirits faded, replaced by a somber resignation to their grim fate. In their struggle, Ricard's strength dwindled, making it harder to stay above the water. Denisio, summoning every ounce of strength, managed to pull Ricard's almost lifeless body back above the surface, fighting against the looming doom. 5 excruciating hours passed, taking a devastating toll on Ricard and Denisio. With no air left in their tanks and the silt-laden freezing water, the air pocket that once sustained them became their silent executioner. Cognitive and physical paralysis set in, rendering them helpless. Ricard's weakened body slipped into the water again, beyond his control. In a heart-wrenching moment, Denisio, drained of strength, could only watch as his friend's lifeless body sank. Alone and with no energy left to stay afloat, Denisio was certain that he would die as well. At 5 in the evening, a Gaius team led by Corporal Aguirre entered the cave with a fellow diver. With determination, they ventured into the challenging and rocky terrain, swimming 148 feet, propelled by the relentless pursuit of finding Ricard and Denisio. Their progress was abruptly halted as they encountered the murky aftermath of the victims' frantic escape, swirling sediment, obscuring their vision. The corporal activated the Guardia Civil's National Speleo Diving Group, preparing for the rescue. Biologists, diving centers, underwater photographers, and fishermen were called, but their knowledge of the cave was limited. The search resumed on Sunday with little hope of finding them alive. Specialists from all over the region arrived in the early morning to assist. The incident became public, attracting dozens of journalists on the second day. They followed the line set up by the corporal and his partner from the port. The first 2 divers reached the clay area with improved visibility after the mud settled during the night. The fissure, where Ricard and Denisio had fled, was visible. The diver who entered first realized turning around was impossible due to the narrowness. Proceeding forward, he reached the bubble where Ricard and Denisio were found. In that underground lake, the civil guard's flashlight revealed Ricard's lifeless body floating in his neoprene suit and Denisio clinging to the rock, emitting a moan of agony as he exhaled his last breath. A miraculous survivor, Denisio, utterly stunned, was disoriented, dehydrated, hypothermic, and breathing heavily. He refused to wear air equipment, so the rescue diver had to administer oxygen by emptying several bottles in front of his face, brought on various trips. Isotonic drinks followed, but convincing him to follow and submerge again proved challenging. Denisio, confused and unfamiliar with the surroundings and rescuers, resisted collaboration. As such, the corporal quickly surfaced and convinced Denisio's diving friend, who was with him, to join in the effort to save Denisio. Not completely comfortable with this, the friend decided it was necessary. Aware of the danger this rescue mission posed, he followed the corporal into the cave with other rescue divers. They made their way down to the cavern with breathable air. Seeing a friendly and familiar face improved the situation greatly. By that afternoon, the corporal decided to sedate Denisio because time was running out, realizing it was the only way to get him out alive. And no more than 24 hours after entering the cave, Denisio finally emerged, accompanied by the corporal, the rescue team, and his friend. With Denisio safe, they had to return to recover Ricard's body. Denisio became the first diver in Spain to survive such an accident. After the media attention settled, the corporal initiated a thorough investigation to understand why the dive ended tragically. He conducted a 3-year investigation into the events, concluding that Ricard died due to hypercapnia, a condition where there's too much carbon dioxide in the bloodstream, which can be fatal, as seen in Ricard's case. The report highlighted that both divers lacked the necessary training and took excessive risks, especially diving without thread installation. Rumors spread during the investigation, suggesting Denisio's responsibility or a lack of help to Ricard. However, the report clarified that Denisio tried twice to save Ricard, recorded on their dive computers. Denisio didn't want to comment on the events, as those involved reflect on the haunting events that transpired in the cave in 2014. It's a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the thin line between triumph and tragedy, emphasizing the importance of using a rope for cave divers to ensure a safe return. Well, imagine that you are in the face of unknown challenges like Denisio and Ricard. What do you think is the key to ensuring a safe return? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button if you found this adventure as intriguing as we did. Subscribe for more gripping tales and insights. And remember, the exploration of our world is a journey filled with both wonder and caution. Until next time, stay curious and dive safely.